Welcome to the Breaking Gill Boy podcast. Junior has been suspended 1 week for behavioral issues, so he will not be joining us today, unfortunately. Worries. But we do have Jerbear, a.k.a. Jeremy Van, if you want the real people to know your real name.
That's my real name.
I gave it away anyway, but it's a really cool real name. I mean, that sounds like
it's a pretty cool name.
You know, some kind of private eye or something like that.
Exactly. I mean, I thought about reconnaissance.
Yeah.
But
so off camera here, I was talking to Jeremy that his voice doesn't really match his face and his persona, if you will, because I was thinking he's gonna be like some big ass dude, linebacker for his high school or something like that. But Jerbear, welcome, buddy.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being on the Breaking Gill Boy podcast. Again, I'd love to have great people in the hobby on. I've already had Sconey and Main Bub and the Gucci guys, your California brethren on as well. So how we start the show usually is like we just want to talk about how you got into sports cards. I mean, I know you graduated high school. You're one of the younger members of the community. So, but like I said, age doesn't mean anything because the Vortex guys are fairly young as well, and they're really great guys. You just have to be like anything in life, just a good person. Doesn't matter age, gender, race, whatever.
Yeah,
pretty simple. So, if you want to share with us like your sports card journey, how you got into sports cards, and kick the ball off that way.
Yeah, for sure. So, truth be told, I'm only 18, so my journey is not as long as other people's. But
I'm older than your father. Whatever.
So the first real thing that I can remember that got me into sports cards was when I was about 4 or 5 years old. I started playing t-ball.
T-ball,
t-ball, yeah. And then I played baseball up until I was 15 or 16. I want to say.
Jerry, I can ask you a question now. In t-ball, when I was younger, even back in the 70s and 80s, every time we played t-ball, it was a tie. Now, do they do that in yours, or is there actual a victor?
No, we won, and then I stayed in that same system up until I was about 12 or 13. I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, sadly, my team usually lost, but
you're right.
It was still a fun time. But that is kind of what really got me into sports in general. And then I remember my first experience with sports cards is my grandpa. He took me to Target, and we got a pack of like a box or a pack of Topps baseball. And whatever that year was, I think it was like a reprint maybe. I got a Clayton Kershaw rookie card in there.
Oh, you're a Dodgers guy, right?
I am a Dodgers fan. I'm in Los Angeles, so I am big Dodgers guy. Grandpa and I go to games all the time.
We're not going to talk about how the Red Sox beat you guys.
I don't know. That's a whole thing.
Okay.
But so that is kind of what really kickstarted my whole sports card thing, and I started collecting. And my dad gave me some of his collection from like the 80s and 90s.
What are his big cards that he gave you?
Well, sadly, actually, not funny story, but a story. When he was a little younger, a lot of his collection got stolen, actually, by other kids in the neighborhood.
That's lousy.
Yeah, so we had cool stuff like a Randy Johnson rookie and a couple Ken Griffey's and Cal Ripkins and stuff like that. And that was really fun. And then I was strictly only baseball when I was younger. And the more I played sports, the more I got into sports and fantasy football, fantasy baseball, all of that. And about 2 years ago, my uncle, who was from LA as well, he moved down to San Antonio, and he didn't want to bring all 400 pounds of his baseball cards that he had.
Right.
So he gave them all to me, and for the next month, I was spent every day going through them. Oh, what is this one? What is this one? Is this one gradable? And
how old were you at this point?
Sorry, what was that?
How old?
About 2 years ago. So I was
16. Okay. 16.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I was about 16 at this point, and I was going through all of them, and I was going on PSA's website. Oh, this one can get
nice.
$3,000 for PSA 10. Obviously, it wasn't a PSA 10 because it was from 1986 with a big crease down the middle. That's kind of what really rekindled my love for sports cards, and then I started getting into basketball and football and baseball, all three of them now. So that's kind of where it kickstarted again.
So you basically got the cards in 20, right, during the height of the pandemic?
Yeah, exactly. So I had nothing but time to,
I mean, that's why the market went bananas, because everybody had this extra income and they didn't know where to spend it, right? So, and that's when Gary said get into it, and Gary Vaynerchuk's fairly been wrong. I mean, he talked about all the social media platforms that everybody kind of poo-pooed on, TikToks and everything else, and being now 49, but like 4 years ago, I got on TikTok and everybody's like, that's just kids doing stupid dances and stuff. Well, guess what? Every kind of corporation and anyone's on TikTok now. So
it's crazy, yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to listen to the people that know their stuff, right?
Yeah.
So what got you Jerbear? All right, first of all, how did we come up with Jerbear? Let's go with that first.
So Jerbear has always kind of been my nickname in life.
Okay.
One of them. So my name's Jeremy. So
The good one, the good nickname, right? There's no probably bad
pretty good.
nicknames.
And for my entire life, my family called me that. And then in about 2018 or 2019, out of nowhere, I started liking the Bears, and I don't know why. Because as a Bears
It's like
fan,
the Browns, man, it just happens.
I don't know why I'm a fan, but I am for some reason. And they're just a cool team. There's a cool fan base behind them, and it's just fun to watch them. Like grow every year. And then
they need growing, dude. The Bears need some growing.
Slowly, very, very slowly.
It's like the Browns. At least the Bears have like some championships.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wasn't alive in '85, but I've heard the stories. Of
all right. Bears. So 1985, quickly.
Yeah.
So they played the Patriots in the Super Bowl every year. Okay. Yeah. So at that point, I was 12. So I was 12, and I remember we all got in our house. We had our whole family there was going crazy, and one of your guys is Sweetness, right? Walter Payton. Yeah. He fumbled the ball, and the Patriots actually got the ball, it recovered it, and kicked the field goal. They were actually up 3-0.
Yeah.
And then they got outscored 46-7. But we're not going to talk about that part. It was a nightmare. But the Patriots, I think, rebounded pretty nicely. But continue.
Yeah. Anyway, so for some random reason, I started liking the Bears, and then when this whole TikTok thing started to get going, I was like, what's a really good name? Because I didn't want to start it with like some crummy name. I wanted to actually go with a cool name that's like memorable. And I was like, how about Jerbear Sports Cards? It's got kind of a little ring to it. It means something to me as well.
Sure.
Yeah. And that's
so. People ask me, I don't know if you even know what the Breaking Gill Boys means. So every time my son and I hung out, and my dad came, we always called the Gill Boys, right? 3 generations. And I always liked. I wasn't a big Western guy, but in Westerns, they talk about the Oak Ridge Gang or I don't know, the Smith brothers stealing the cattle. Those damn Smith boys. So that's why I'm like the Breaking Gill Boys. That's why you got the cowboy, and also the ace. A lot of Cowboys played cards, and that's what this is in a way, gambling, right? So that's how I kind of the whole Breaking Gill Boy thing.
I never understood the cowboy hat. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's I kind of did it like that, and it's brown for the Cleveland Browns. That's when I got into that. Again, I like you. I like a team for everybody. I'll just elaborate on this. The reason I got in the Cleveland Browns back in the late '80s, they were really good. People don't even probably know that, but they were really good. And every time John Elway went to the Super Bowl, he beat Cleveland, by the way. So every time he went before he won with Terrell Davis in the first chapter, like when they got blown out every year, when they went to the Super Bowl, they beat Cleveland. Like the drive, the fumble, horrible, horrible nightmares. But those were the games that were on TV because the New England Patriots were so terrible. They weren't on TV. Yeah, listen to the radio. Like no one went to the games, so that's why they were blacked out. Imagine that back in the day, dude. They blacked out games if they didn't sell out. So they blacked out.
Yeah.
So that's why I always just like Cleveland because no one else liked Cleveland. Plus, I hate the Pittsburgh Steelers. And there isn't 2 fan bases that hate Pittsburgh more than I think, well, beside the Ravens, probably New England and Cleveland. So that worked fine for me. But that's how I like the Browns. So we all have our own journey why we like certain teams. But speaking of Pittsburgh, what is up with you and Mitch Trubisky? Like why do we like him? Why do you have a PC that goes forever for him? Like tell me why, please.
Well, I was thinking about showing the whole PC on here, but we would be here probably until October, so I decided not to do that.
I might lose a lot of viewers, too, if you end up doing that.
Probably, yeah. Why do I like Mitchell Trubisky? Other than being the best quarterback in the league, no, I'm joking, but it started out as a total meme, okay? So a guy in the community, I don't know if he's still active, he goes by the name of C. Millie.
Okay.
He was one of the first people I bought from when I first got into the TikTok card game. He had a Mitchell Trubisky PC of like 2-3 people. He was a Bears fan. He was in Illinois.
Right.
And I was like, that is so stupid to like have that. It's just a waste of money. And the more we talked about it, the more like kind of joking we got back and forth. And then
right.
So one day I was perusing eBay and I found matching Mitch Trubisky like PSA 8 slabs. So I sent one to his house and I got one for myself. And I've always loved to collect stuff, maybe to an extreme, which is maybe not healthy. Like example being
Amon-Ra.
Yeah. But I've always liked to collect stuff and like build collections and see like, oh, I don't have this one yet. Let's add that to the collection. And the more I was looking at eBay, I'm like, oh, this guy's cheap, and who knows if he ever does take off, you know?
Yeah, your investment, right? That was your investment. Like Ramondre Stevenson's mine, because I just think Damian Harris on the Patriots is so injury prone, because you follow the teams you follow, right? So you know them intimately. Yeah. And I'm thinking, and Ramondre just has that, dare I say it, Derrick Henry S to him, if that makes any sense. So that's why I latched on. He's my investment, if you will. But continue.
Yeah, well, Mitch totally did not start out as an investment. However, when there was rumors of him going to Pittsburgh, I started buying more and more and more and more. And quite honestly, I was buying like here, I got this card right here for you. I don't know if it's going to show up well on camera. This is the first Mitch Trubisky card I got. It's a 1/1 immaculate RPA of his.
May we ask how much you paid for that?
Yeah, this one was about 175, which is, I would say, pretty good for an immaculate 1/1 RPA from Honors.
And he was with the Bears at that point still, right?
He was. That was 2017. So he was obviously the best quarterback from 2017.
Patty Mahomes is that same class, correct?
Oh, yeah, that's right. No, I'm totally joking. Obviously, Mitch Trubisky is way overlooked, in that.
Okay, right.
For good reason. You have great people like Kupp, Kamara, Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun.
Sure.
Yeah. So I paid about 175 for it. And now that card has about like 4x'd in value just because he got signed by the
Get out.
Yeah.
Get out.
It's crazy. Every single Mitch Trubisky I got, a lot of them aren't rookie. They're just like patches from Spectra. Or
Sure.
Have all like 4 to 5x'd because of the Steelers. So it's
like the stock market. That's what it is.
It's going to do a great investment. And he has one 500-yard game this season, just goes off. I'll probably sell a couple of them.
It's so funny because it's being back in it since October. It's so fueled by like fantasy football and all that stuff, right? So that's it makes complete sense now because like in 19 you could buy boxes for what 20% of what they are now.
Crazy. Yeah,
it's absolutely nuts. So I'm going to take over. I'm going to pretend I'm Junior right now because he's suspended. Okay. So Jerbear, what is your favorite card?
My favorite card. Okay, so it's tied for 2, I would say. Actually, I mean, the Mitch Trubisky is probably one of them. This is another really cool Bears card. I got this from Bird Bear on the app. If you guys know,
Bird Bear, I know who he is.
One of his mystery packs. Some of the best mystery packs I've ever opened, by the way.
I haven't bought any. I got 1 or 2 before, not from him in general. So they're not bad. Yeah, I mean, you make tit miss, right?
Yeah, it's fun. And I remember this was one of the chasers, and I know Sconey's going to get really jealous if he looks at this. But it's a cut signature of Walter Payton.
Whoa!
I know, from 2017 Leaf Executive.
Oh, that's great. So Leaf did not. They don't have the NFL rights, right? That doesn't have any NFL stuff on it, right?
They don't, or they have the Bears logo up here. I don't know.
Oh, they do. Oh, okay.
I mean,
that's very nice looking. Good card. Nice card.
But it's a cut signature from something or other, like a magazine that he signed back in the day.
Cool.
And kind of in a BGS type slab, and that's really, really cool. And then my other favorite card, I will say, is probably this one. I am a Bears fan now, but I grew up a Cowboys fan.
Whoa!
And this is the national.
And you're in LA.
Yeah, exactly. My dad was born in Mexico City, and he
no way.
Mexico City. Everybody's a fan of the Dodgers and the Cowboys, always.
Oh, that makes sense, right?
That's kind of how I grew up. But this is National Treasures patch from 2016 of Romo, Bryant, Ezekiel Elliott, and Dak Prescott. And it's Prescott and Elliott's rookie year, which is pretty cool. And then I grew up watching Romo and Dez, some of my favorite players. So I think those are tied for maybe my favorite cards for sure.
So these are my new. These are probably my newer favorite cards, I would say. I'm going to show you as well. So the guy. So you probably heard it. I've retired 7 to 8 times, as much as Tom Brady out of the breaking stuff.
I have heard that.
So Luke over at Vortex, because he's awesome. All those guys I love those guys. Good guys down in Philly. Sent me this Barry Sanders ballpoint pen auto. Ballpoint pen,
dude,
from Pinnacle in the 90s, which they don't exist anymore. So it's crazy. It's ballpoint pen. You don't see that often.
That's awesome.
And then in the same break, I got the damaged Mac Jones from Vortex. I hit this Drew Bledsoe. Now, Drew Bledsoe, for me, the New England Patriots at that point in juncture were ready in the late 90s, the early 90s, were ready to leave and go to St. Louis.
Oh, wow.
We called the St. Louis Stallions, okay?
Yeah.
As I told you, they blackouts, and all that stuff. So they had the number 1 pick because they were so terrible. And they ended up hiring Bill Parcells. and ended up drafting Drew Bledsoe over Rick Meyer, who was with Seattle, who was an okay quarterback, but he was nowhere at the level of Drew Bledsoe.
Mhm.
But Drew Bledsoe for me, because I've had season tickets for the Patriots for 28 years now. So
Wow, that's awesome.
1994, he was the savior of the team. Like if they didn't get him, and he was somewhat successful. He went to the Super Bowl in his third year, the playoffs. He brought him back on the map.
Mhm.
And to me, even though Tom Brady won the 6 championships, it wasn't for him. There's no Tom Brady playing for the Patriots.
Yeah, he was the pilot light for the dynasty.
Pilot, I like that. Oh God, that's good, Jerbear. I like that. Pilot light, but he was in that. For me, I always loved Drew Bledsoe. I love Tom Brady too, but Drew Bledsoe was kind of the guy that I just saw bring my team back to, so where I'm thinking of relevancy,
Yeah,
because
that's
they
awesome.
were ready to go, and then Robin Kraft bought the team. The rest is history, as we know. So, what else? What is your most valuable card? I forgot to use my son's voice, but go ahead.
Most valuable. I mean, funny enough, now it might be the Trubisky. This is probably a close second. I got this from 238. As I said, I grew up loving baseball. I still do love baseball. So I decided to just pop in and buy a Topps Archives,
Okay.
one of those boxes, and I just happened to hit a 1-1 Vladimir Guerrero Jr. autograph on card, which is, I mean, pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I remember his father. That tells you how old I am. I remember his father. Like, you're getting old when the guys you watch their kids are playing. So
yeah, it's crazy, but
that's like I'm like, oh my God.
That's a pretty cool card, I think.
We're gonna shift a little bit. We're gonna go to talk about the state of the hobby. I always like talking about this. I talked to Sconey about redemptions, which is just ludicrous. I've talked about Main Bob about some of the toxicity that's in the hobby. And I also talked to Sway about the grading. So I want to talk to you, being a breaker and all. Do you think the market is correcting itself? Because boxes are super expensive, but my son's outside the door right now, throwing stuff off the door because he knows I'm on it.
If you hear Alex, the tap around the house, it's my dog also.
Do you hear? Do you hear?
Yeah.
Do you hear the bang of the door?
I do.
Right. So okay. Anyway, continue. Anyway, so do you think it's beginning to course correct? Because you're buying cards on Brave. So do you see is the prices, kind of leveling off for certain brands, or are they still going up, or what's going on?
Yeah, so I'll put it this way. I was thinking about this question. I think there definitely is a discrepancy between box prices and card prices.
Which makes no sense.
Most notably, I've noticed, and this is just a good example because it's pretty clean cut, is Origins in 2021. The box has now gone up. At least I live in Los Angeles, so pretty much add 15% plus tax to every single thing that you have.
Right.
But a box of Origins is about $650 to $675 out near me. Okay, which is crazy, right, for Origins. And the chase card you're looking for is a Mac Jones autograph, right, which has one in every X boxes, and that card's only worth $500. That's like the best.
If you hit that card, you're got a loss, pretty much.
Exactly, right? And I think that is kind of a problem, and that might be like a kind of a bubble in the market. That being said, and I say this truly with no bias, I really think that if breakers can continue to open product in such a way that supplies value to the patron, I think that's a little better. It's the most mitigated way you can open sports cards, I think, in my opinion. Because I was thinking about this yesterday. Let's say you go out and you buy a $10,000 box of Flawless, right? And you hit
divorced instantaneously.
Okay, so you would be losing money and losing a wife, right? It wouldn't be a good
Yeah, she's the breadwinner, so I'd be screwed, bro.
Yeah, well, let's say you get a team in a break, right? And there's Flawless, and there's Origins, and there's Prism and Mosaic, and you get great cards out of all those boxes, right?
Well, you hit me that Herbie out of 2021 Herbie Gold Stair Mat, which was a beautiful card. Beautiful card.
Great card, right? And that's what I'm saying.
I got into your break for about 150-ish or around there, 200 maybe at the max, and I sold it for $700. But
so exactly my point. What I mean is, if you buy into a break that has Flawless, Prism, Mosaic, all that for call it $500 just for easiness sake, and you come out walking away with $1,000 worth of cards, you're happy, right?
Right.
You made that value back. So I think honestly, the state of the hobby, I mean, breakers obviously don't. I don't like that word, but they don't make up for the entire sale of cards and all that. They're not the foundation of the hobby. that being said, I think personally, and that's why I do buy into breaks, it's probably the best way that you can buy sports cards out of sealed wax. That is.
Well, because you can't find the wax, number one.
That is
Can't
true.
find even retail, you can't find any. Like my son and I go on hunts. I mean, trying to find stuff. You just can't find anything. I mean, I was lucky to find what I mentioned, like just a Cello Chronicles draft picks today at Barnes and Noble, just because I needed a little, mind meld kind of therapy sessions. I just need to calm down. So, but that was like a miracle just to find that, because usually you go into the Targets, Walmarts, they're gone. And like I bought some hobby boxes since I got back into it. Like I bought limited back in, I think December. I don't know if you do this. You probably do because you're running a business, but I keep track of everything I spend, everything I make, all that crap, right? So just going back into history here, just to tell you how much these boxes are. Maybe we'll do a little exercise. You can tell me how much they are now.
Yeah, well, I'll give you probably. Should I give you LA prices or should I give you?
Yeah, I get LA. But so January 2022, I bought a box of XR football. Guess how much? January.
$400.
$369. How much is it now?
It's $770 over here in LA.
Oh, wow, dude. Well, it's gonna be good exercise. Let's keep going. I bought a hobby box of Rookies and Stars in February. I paid $400. I think $400 or $500.
$625.
Good God.
Crazy.
All right, here we go.
This is all post-tax for me over here, though.
Yeah, I bought March of 2022. I bought a box of longevity Rookies and Stars for $144. How much is it now?
Like $215 over here, more or less.
Wow, dude, crazy.
Yeah,
it's so crazy. So then I found another deal. This is in March, right? So I was in a card store, a local LCS, and they had another XR box, and it was only $450.
Yeah.
So I had to get it because I'm like, I shouldn't have got it, baby, but I had to get it. The only thing I hit a long neck out of it, and I hit a 1 out of 1. Jesus, who's the kid that was on the Jacks and went over to the Lions?
Gardner, no, not Gardner Minshew.
The wideout. The wideout that went over there. I can't remember his name.
Okay, I don't know.
But he's I don't know how good he's going to be, but he's not that great. So, and then also, I got to ask you this one. This one's going to be good. So,
I'm ready.
This one is going to be good. I bought a bunch of classics back then.
I love classics.
So I got a hobby box of Illusions in December, and I paid $450. How much is it now?
Oh my gosh. That's about $770 also.
Oh, God, isn't that it? Dude, so that is a good exercise for all you people out there to see how insane this marketplace has got. It's been bananas.
It is insane, for sure.
So now I can't buy any boxes now. I just can't.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, like, I'm trying to think. I've domed for myself. I like to do a little series on the TikTok channel every once in a while when I'm feeling crazy. I like to call it a hobby box a day. It keeps the doctor away. And maybe I'll buy. I've done Playbook. I've done Clearly, Rookies and Stars, and it's just been a fun time, just to open some cards.
Clearly, I thought that was gonna be better than it was.
Clearly,
I just thought Clearly I got like 3 something, and I hit a Des Fitzpatrick, and it just crap. It was just not good.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the off chance. I mean, those boxes I like to toss in every once in a while because they're not very expensive. And the chance at hitting one of those cool like rookie quarterbacks it's a fun thing to toss in there. But
right, I mean, my big hits for me, like Sconey pulled me this out of Chronicles 2020 hobby. Pulled me this Justin Herbert.
Yes, that one's awesome.
9 out of 99 Black Red Prism. I didn't realize how big that card was when I pulled it. The guy's like, no, it's pretty big.
I think it was in that break actually when you
might have been, yeah. So I saw it. This is the whole thing about grading. And sometimes I looked at it, I put it in my light. And I'm like, I think there's a divot. So I'll just send it to SGC. And then I got a 10.
Yeah.
Now, and there's people saying to me, you got to crack it. No, I'm not cracking it open. Now, I know I lost probably $200 or $300 because there's a PSA. But I'm not super greedy when I do sell it because this is the only card I'm really going to hold on to that I'm going to probably sell my investment project, if you will.
Yeah, that's a great investment to have.
Yeah, so if he ends it, because I have it in the background of my lives, and everybody asks about it. And it's not for sale right now. Like, if Herbert goes 4-0 at the beginning of the season, yeah, maybe I do sell it then or whatever. That division's such a gauntlet, though, so we'll see. But I know you had a couple questions for me, so if you want to shoot those my way.
I did, yeah. So on TikTok, more or less, I mean, I personally, I think it's a great like way to shed light on the
Mhm.
hobby, but
Yes,
some people see you as the quote unquote complainer on TikTok, right? So
correct.
my question is, if you did in fact take the president position of Panini America, all
Mhm.
sports cards, what would you do differently to improve the company, improve the overall situation that we're all in
Dude,
right
you gotta get a podcast, by the way. Great question. Um, being in business and being like in social media and all that stuff for my whole career, marketing, if you
now?
will. And I've been in customer service, and I worked at grocery stores, whatever, even paper route when I was young, yes, newspapers.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about like doing the job, doing it well, and treating customers right. That's
Yeah,
pretty much simple across the board. Okay,
yeah,
across the board for anything. Okay, at all. Um, the way Panini's going about things is the money grab is unbelievable. Okay. Spreading out the product this long and people saying supply chain, yeah, that to a degree, not anymore though. Let's be honest. Pushing Select out. Select hasn't even come out yet. What am I saying? Pushing out Prism. Select's not going to come out until the preseason actually starts for the following year
mm-hmm.
because they know for a fact that this class, the Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence class, is far superior than the class that just came out. So that's a money grab there. But the worst thing is the customer service stuff. Okay, and they know they're getting out. If they weren't getting out, they're probably better than they are now. I would say a little bit better, I guess. They did the thing at the convention at the National saying, if you have any redemptions for 2017, come, you can get points or whatever. Or they said you can get redemptions at the show. And all. I want to know if you people out there went to the show, what do they do? I can picture them sitting at their table. You probably saw my Pulp Fiction video, like a mob coming with pitchforks and torches coming to the table with their redemption cards and their damage cards and all this stuff. To go to go dark in the customer service perspective, to go radio silent, is the kiss of death. Because every time I complained, each of those videos probably have at least 1 to 2 dozen people going, I went through the same thing. I haven't got my card back. I've been waiting for 2 years. Jeremy, you tell me how many products or services you can do, and they say, you're going to pay for it now, but we may get you the product or service in maybe 2 years or 3 months or no way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I understand that for sure.
And I know there's a couple lawsuits out there and all that stuff. And, they say,
Yeah.
they're trying to get in the loophole saying it's not guaranteed. Like now when people pull redemptions, I'm like, that's not a win.
Mm-hmm.
That's just more of a headache.
It's a win if you get them, It is a win if you get them.
If you get them.
Yeah. I will say there's a couple players out there who definitely do sign faster than others. Trevor Lawrence, for one, signs very fast, I will say. I've submitted only one of my redemptions for him, and I got it back. And other members in my community got it back in like 3 weeks, which is still.
Yeah, I saw someone just post a video. They got them back pretty quickly too. Like Kyle Pitts does not sign.
And my man Justin Fields does not sign that regularly as well, which.
But then you see what Leaf did, and they sued CeeDee Lamb, and he signed his contract right away. Like, why don't they do again? And even if they just like some people, again, corporations do this. Certain people that have followings, they try to take care of them because they know their voice will get out there and say, well, they took care of me. So other people are like, well, maybe there's going to be a change of some kind. They just don't respond to anyone unless there's some big people. Let's be honest, there's some breakers that may be in bed with Panini. Let's be honest. Come on. There's connections going on behind the scenes, whatever. Like in any industry, it's true. But the number one thing I trade is the customer service, man. You got to be better. You could at the very least say, we got your inquiry, we'll look into it at the very least. So, at least.
No, customer service is everything. I agree with you 100%.
And I say, cards don't make the breaker. The breaker makes the cards, right? That's the thing. I did the video. It's true. Like, I like you. I like what you stand for. I know you're a legitimate stand-up guy, and I'll come to you and spend my money with you. There'll be another 6 or 7 guys I won't. Like I was on Whatnot Heavy at the beginning of the year, got a little trouble. Shouldn't have done, you get caught up like you do at Amon Ra. Same thing. You get caught up. And then I realized like, wow, man, there's only 1 or 2 of those guys I'd ever do business with again. Like the cards came in like shit. They weren't packed. I could swear now my son isn't here. They weren't packed and all this stuff. They didn't look good. And the pushing you, bid. Whoa, just chill, man. So again, it's the customer service aspect. That's what they need to change.
Yeah, I agree with you. So let me actually ask you this: what is Panini doing right, in your opinion?
I don't know.
whether it be products, like you like their products, or
let's be honest, they're kind of a monopoly. I mean, for football. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, they're on everything.
I mean, you wouldn't really buy any of the other ones. Like for instance, I got this. Where is it? I got sent this. My friends at K-State Collectibles up in Haverhill, they have a new thing, like the hit parades. They call it the Case Hit Gold Card. That's what they call it. And I hit this Trevor Lawrence. Okay, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, cool.
Out of 15, but it's wild card. Yeah. So they're not really, and plus they don't have collegiate or NFL rights at all, so they can't use logos or anything like that. So to me, it's a nice card, and it's worth a couple $100, and I'm very grateful for it. But it's not like one of my favorite cards. You know what I mean? So they have the rights, so they're the ones that are holding the crown, if you will, right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, again, the quality control is not good. The customer service is non-existent. I don't know if there's anything I like about. I mean, I do like Flawless and I do like Immaculate. I just like those nice looking cards. Like I got into a couple, and I got those are nice cards and so forth. But the detractors of if their QA was great or the customer service was great, usually they go hand in hand. But if they did something really, really well, went out of the way or made something, I have never seen a video yet on TikTok, and I'm on there a lot, of anyone saying they made it right. Once in a while you might see the white box. I think Moke did that. I'm sorry, I take that back. You got
they're doing black boxes at Panini or at the National right now. I know.
Yeah, he got a Moke got, but I don't know how many redemptions he had, but he got an unbelievable Justin Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
But how many redemptions did that take?
Probably 47 knowing Moke. That's awesome. But yeah,
I'm waiting for Fanatics to really learn what's going on, see what's going on here. Quick side note, I used to do a Boston sports blogging and podcast kind of industry event I put together myself, and Fanatics was one of our first sponsors. Now I'm talking, this is in 15, 14. This is before they got colossal. And I know one of the guys over there. And I think they're going to do the right thing. I really do. I really think they're going to do the right thing about this. They know customer service is everything. You saw what came out with the Topps, the fake autos, right?
Yeah. They
made a statement, okay, you screwed up. You admitted you screwed up. That's good.
Topps did great in that situation. I think that's how it should be done.
And transparency is everything. And SGC, I like how they talk about. They have their little State of the Union. They come out on Instagram. You don't hear anything from Beckett or PSA. You don't see them come out.
I think
it's all about transparency.
Propelled to the top, personally.
Again, I like some. I guess to say, what do you like? Some of their products are nice, but overall, there's a lot to work on. So.
Before I go to my next question, you mentioned Flawless and I think National. What do you think about the new Eminence boxes that are coming out? I
haven't really seen those. I see that it's coming out. I haven't seen them personally yet, seen them pulled. They're not out yet, right, per se?
I think they came out today, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, no, dude, release days every other day now. So I don't know what's coming out. But like I said, I haven't seen those, but I like the higher end stuff. And to your point, the only way you could have any shot at those is in breaks.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, except I will say, I was thinking about it. The Eminence boxes, you're gonna probably have a heart attack. They're selling for $30,000 a box right now. And
how much does Flawless go for? 15.
Flawless football is like 10K now for this year at least. But Eminence, it's 10 cards. They're all in a one touch like this, all on card autographs, and they're all numbered 10 or less. And I think I think they released them during the National. If you think about it, if you pull that Mac Jones out of 10 with an ounce of platinum in there and you sell it, your box is probably paid for on release day. This might be one of the boxes that you can actually make.
So it's basically Flawless without the top loaded cards in there. It's just all slabs, right?
Flawless. Everything's numbered to 10 instead of 25.
Okay.
And the checklist is insane.
But how do you get in those breaks? Those breaks are
I don't know how to do that one. But
all right, do you have any other questions there, Scoops?
I do. You talked about Fanatics, and so we talked about if you were the president of Panini, if you were the president of Fanatics taking now over the sports cards, what would you implement to make yourself different in kind of a positive way for the community?
Dude, number one, be transparent, be out there, and I think they will be doing that. Do what SGC does, do the State of the Union, State of the Cards, whatever. Yeah. Also, the customer service element. You got to be good at that. That's because we know how bad Panini was. You could honestly trip over your own feet and be better than Panini when it comes to customer service, right?
Yeah.
Never return calls, emails, messages, ticket updates. It doesn't matter. So they got to basically do the fundamentals of business, man, to do well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I think the relationships they have already because of all the merchandising they do and all that stuff. I think
it's a crazy company.
It's going to open the doors. Who knows? Maybe they'll have like grab bags with the jersey and a card. Like they could just like put those care packages together. It'd be cool.
Well, yeah,
stuff
that
like
kind of
that,
leads
right?
to a second leg of my question. Card wise, what would you like to see differently? Like, would you like to see? I was listening to the podcast. I don't remember who it was from a while ago, and they were talking about how cool would it be if Fanatics, they brought it in, and instead of like redemptions, it's a redemption for an experience, like a round of golf with
Tom Brady or something like that. He'll still be playing, I'm sure, in 4 years. User like an experience, right? Absolutely, cool things like that. Break that, kind of intermingle those and stuff. I think they're very innovative. They'll think outside the box because that's what they've been built. I'll see what he's built, and like he's in the memorabilia game they're in, and all this stuff. Cards just made sense.
Yeah,
and everybody used to say Panini was a sticker company. I mean, they are. I mean, that's what they are. So, but no, dude, great questions. Not too many people ask me questions, which is fantastic. This is good.
Well, I thought I would take over being the interviewer for this one.
No, dude.
The back half.
Well, you should do a podcast as well. So before we do an outro, I have a very big announcement. Okay,
yes,
and I'm happy, Jerbear, you're here for it. Okay, so you probably see you've one of the few people that like what's going on, Jay? Like my teasers out there with the Stranger Things separate ways in the background, which I love that show and I love what they do with that song, by the way. I have joined forces with they are called Primetime Pulls.
That's awesome.
Okay, they are out of Boca Raton. It turns out that I'm going to end up being like L2L to 238 for them. So
wow, cool.
I'll be doing some breaks a couple of days a week. It's Anthony and Brett over there. Quick funny story so Anthony and I met through mutual friends like 25 plus years ago. Okay,
wow, okay.
Mutual friends. We went to we didn't really get along then, which was funny. But we went to like Myrtle Beach and all this stuff. So then you get older, you fall. People go different ways, whatever. So I was in Whatnot, right? And I was in a room. I think it was the Hobby House, and I entered the giveaway. You know how people jump in and out of the giveaways? It happens, whatever.
Yeah.
So I jumped out, and my mutual friend that we have gave him my number because I hit the Luka Doncic rookie PSA 10 hoops card.
That's cool.
So I won it in the giveaway, and then I get these cryptic text messages that say, "Hey, hey, idiot! You won the Luka." And I'm like, "Who is this?" Like I didn't know. He's like stats because back in the day we used to play Madden, right? So every time I beat him, I'd be like stats in your face, like stuff like that. So back in the day, so it was. And I'm like, it just, how sometimes if you don't remember who the number is, you're like, who is this? Like, I don't know the.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's like, call me. I'm like,
yeah.
What's up? And I'm like, Virgilio. Like, I knew who it was. Like, I knew exactly who it was. Right. Wow. So it was funny. So, because he's been in it for a while. And, during the pandemic, he, was buying product and stuff like that. So we connect. He's taught me a lot about the industries because he's been in it for 2 years. And stuff like that. So him and Brett out of Boca Raton asked me to get involved, and I said, yeah, absolutely. So now I'm part of Primetime Pulls.
That's awesome. Congratulations on that.
That's Pulls with a Z. Follow us on all the socials. We're on the we're on the TikTok machine, Instagram we're working on. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. We're not up to 1,000, so we can't really broadcast yet or anything like that. But please follow us. I'll have some cool content up there. But I'm very excited for this. It's kind of, we call it like primetime pulls, like primetime meat, prime meat, like USDA approved pulls. This is what we're doing. This is going to be affordable and fun. I'm not going to have flawless. I mean, it's going to be retail stuff like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. It's going to be fun. I just didn't have the, and again, I never ever consider anybody competition. We're all family here, and I know we all jump in each other's rooms and stuff like that and do business, and that's what it's about because it's about the community end of the day.
Yeah.
But Jerbear, tell me what's exciting, what's coming up in your socials, my man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm happy. As I said earlier, I just graduated high school. So now I got a bunch of free time.
And you're taking a year off, you said, to kind of.
I am. I'm taking a gap year as of right now. Who knows what sports cards will maybe lead to the future. But
hey, like I was saying to you, when I was younger, I worked at a grocery store. So you're kind of one leg up on me on the cool factor.
Well, thank you. You never know where it's going to lead, but live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, usually on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. Excuse me, on TikTok, jerbear.sports.cards.
We got all right. So I mean, we're live right now on YouTube and stuff like that. But what you got going tonight? What do you got going tonight?
Tonight, actually, I'm taking the night off today.
Well,
this is my only card.
Even the best have to
today.
take nights off. I get it.
I'm working on Scotty's really kind of, if you guys know Scotty, he's really kind of inspired me to maybe try shipping in boxes now. So I've ordered a bunch of boxes off Amazon with bubble wrap and stickers and all sorts of stuff to see what works. So maybe I'll do that tonight. And
Scotty is one of the cornerstones of packing.
Him and 238 are some of the best.
238. I mean, again, just as you know, if Jerbear and I could leave something to these up and coming breakers and myself getting into that game, but I've been selling lots and singles and all that. It's like take customer service again. Take the time, ship it out, and treat them because they're not yours because they're not.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a business.
Exactly. So that's all what's going on right now with Jerbear Sports Cards, but just hoping to keep growing the community. It's been fun. I've been doing it now for about 10 months, I want to say. So coming up on the year mark in October.
Oh, me too. October for me too. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, just looking forward to it. It's been really fun so far, and I'm excited to see where it goes in the future.
Yeah. Hopefully we can maybe all get to the Nationals in Chicago because it's in the middle.
That one I will be at.
I'm going to try to get to that one, but please plug your socials if you didn't already.
Yeah, just TikTok, JerbearSportsCards.com. I'm sorry, that's the website. TikTok is just at jerbear.sports.cards. Live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Jerbear, I appreciate you being on, and
thank you, Gill. I appreciate you having me.
Junior misses you due to a suspension, but hopefully he'll be back next time, and I'm sure we'll cross paths and you'll be able to meet him. He is a great kid. So this is the Breaking Gill Boy podcast. Out.